Good day, YouTube. JD here. This week is Subs Week, and today's topic is how do we get on this pagan path? All right, so I've answered this question before in the past. However, some new developments have happened, and I think it's important to kind of go over the history and then go forward into what has happened now. I was influenced as a young kid by commercials, cartoons, books, and things that kind of dealt with like magical people and people who were trying to protect people, like mages, magical samurai, musicians, and things, even all the way down to Mickey Mouse and his magical wand with that hat he had on that represents the whole cone of power that we witches are known for. Um, I was always fascinated by like things like Power Rangers and things like that. I mean, I know that's not magic, but it looks pretty magical as a kid. So at the age of 11, I went ahead and bought a spell book. When I bought the spell book, I was told by my church that it was bad and that I should take it back. Of course, being a small child and like some adults who are afraid of different religions, I took it back. A few years went by, I didn't work with any type of magic, and then I worked up the strength to go ahead and get back into magic. Bought several books. I ran across Esther Hicks. If you don't know who Esther Hicks is, she's a person or individual who was allowed a collection of spirits to enter her body. I believe those collection of spirits refer to themselves as Abraham. She goes around the world doing these different tours, answering different questions and talking to people. Ran across her, ran across a couple of forums that dealt with astral projection, ran across books by Robert Bruce, who is the author of astral projection instruction manuals. Ran across Michelle Ballinger's book on energy vampirism and things of that nature. Practiced a couple of energy vampirism things, and it basically the authors kind of not really forced me, but influenced me to try different things. I always kept my practices kind of quiet, but when I got introduced, or when I started to realize that my partner at the time was into magic, and that he actually had a magical background, and he's actually my fiance now. We've been engaged for a while. They get married next year, and it's been an amazing special thing. He was with me when I dedicated myself to the god and goddess, and basically formally took the Wiccan religion as my own, and that has been mine up until now. Over the years, I was introduced to a podcast by someone of the name of Dr. E, or you can also call him Hyperion. It's a pagan spirituality that's called the Unnamed Path. It's kind of set up for men who love men or gay men, and it's kind of teaches you that you don't have to really hate yourself. You don't have to give in to any of the Christian type of stuff where they tell you that you're evil and dirty. For any gay man that hasn't heard about this, who's into magic, I would say definitely take a look at it, because even being Wiccan, there are certain parts of Wicca that kind of make you think that the rites were designed for a man and a woman, and I feel like at the very core they are. The Unnamed Path is a path that you can kind of follow or work with, where you can feel like you're welcome. In that religion, or in that path, you are considered holy family. Anybody that's gay, whether you practice magic or not, they're part of your tribe, and that's a very beautiful thing to be involved in. So I would definitely say go ahead and take a look at that. So I ran across that probably about a year after I had taken Wicca as my religion. And fast forward to today, if you've been watching me here on the Pagan Perspective, you know that I have not been afraid to work with different energies. I've talked about jinn in the past and other spirits, and even being in a shamanic path, you are kind of expected to reach out to different energies when you're on these shamanic journeys. So I have used a Ouija board recently, and while using the Ouija board, I actually had a couple demons show up. They showed straight up. They didn't show up like in the movies where it was like black smoke and weird cracking sounds inside the wall. No, it was more of an energetic thing. It was a very powerful energetic situation where certain chakras were immediately triggered in certain ways, and I knew that it was a demon in my subconscious mind, and I knew that it was a situation where I kind of needed help, and I called on spirit guides and things, and they actually kind of ushered the energy out of there. I did a couple more sessions, and these demons came right back, And again, I called my spirit guides, and they kind of ushered them out of there. But in my whole time of working in pagan and occult practices, I've always kind of been attracted to dark gods. I mean, I love Set, I love Anubis, I love Hecate, I love Isis. These are all very, very dark gods. So I decided to do some research. Why were these demons always showing up? What is going on? And what I found is that the goetic demons, the ones that the Christians are so afraid of, are literally the very definition of the old gods. When you look up some of these goetic demons, they were the gods of fallen peoples who were in the Bible. So basically, they would be defeated, and their god would be labeled as a demon. In some cases, their name has been defiled and changed. One name that comes to mind as I'm talking right now is Baal. His name was changed to Beelzebub, which means Lord of Flies. That was after the Christian, or at the time it was the same entity. I believe it was Yahweh or Jehovah, what have you. The people that worship Jehovah or Yahweh defeated the people who worship Baal, changed the name to Beelzebub, and now he's considered a demon. So these entities are out there. I feel like they reached out to me through this Ouija board, which is like a portal, and that's like a whole other thing. And I've been looking into working with these energies and understanding them more. And I feel like it is something that I am going to work with, and I'm going to learn more about in the future. There's actually a practice that's been kind of making the rounds in different like areas online, different books and stuff. It's called demolatory, or being a demolator, and it's basically the summoning of demons and the working with their energies. And it's unlike anything I've seen before, because high magic and other type of magicians would have you conjure them, keep them in a triangle, make sure they wouldn't move. A person who would call themselves a demolator would not even use any kind of circles, nothing. Like they would just evoke the demon would be in the room, and they would work with them. So it's a bit extreme, but these energies are real. I felt it, and that's currently the path I am kind of working on. I am an eclectic shamanic Wiccan witch at the moment, but some of these entities, such as Lucifer and Satan, are very taboo in the Wiccan community. People kind of feel like you're not supposed to even believe that Satan exists. So I may not be able to hold on to the Wiccan title very, very much longer, because if I'm going to work with these energies, it's like, how could you be a Wiccan working with these energies? So I'm going to test these for a bit, see if it's something for me, and I will either follow the path or I won't. But I'm always testing, I'm always learning, I'm always growing, and so I can call myself an eclectic shamanic solitary witch for the time being, if I decide to stick on this path and work with these energies and move forward with them. So anyway, as always, I thank you so much for listening to this video. I will see you all in the next one, and blessed be.